this is the sexy angel filter, honey. Haven't you tried it? If you haven't tried it, you should.
Good.
Do you know how to look for filters? Like you go to the person's profile and there is something called look like a star, like a logo, like a star, and then you hit that, and then it will show you how many or if they have any filters.
Yeah, and then just save it, right?
Then you could save it. Yeah, you could save it. I mean, I have, I think right now, 2 filters and a third one coming up very soon.
Oh wow,
And
fancy.
I've been like, working on it. And if Isabella is listening, that girl crazy with my filter. She's like, I'm done making you filters. I'm done. She's like, I'm hard to please. That's why. But what are you going to do? You are frozen. I don't know if your connection is bad.
No, I can see you. I can hear you fine.
You're just frozen. Can you guys hear her? Oh, now you're back. Now you're back. So tell us, who is Suki Garrison? Introduce yourself. Tell us what you do. Who are you?
So, Claire promote me, become a master trainer for microblading and shading. And then I become a master trainer for angel removal, which is my favorite removal. I know.
Oh,
And then,
gentle. I know everybody. It's like one of our most selling courses, actually, the angel removal.
you know what? I love, I try so many removal, and this has been truly in my heart that when I do it, I feel I'm helping somebody that I know deep in my heart is not going to damage somebody's skin,
I
because
know.
so many removal out there, and everybody have, every single brain out there, every different technique they have, a way of getting out a pigment. But for me, this one is safe. I know it take a little bit of the time, but it works. And I see how the skin is still intact when actually you finish the procedure. I see how client doesn't have so much of traumatizing, uh,
Yeah.
and that for me is, something that I knew for sure I can deliver to the client without sitting at home twisting my thumbs and worry that, if they scarring, are they scabbing, they traumatizing, they happily coming back for procedures, and then they still can plan their life, move on the next day without like, oh my God, no, you have to stay at home, you have to like, cover your face for 6 months, and end up with scarring, and then you can't put anything back up again. So
I
that's
think
my
was
favorite.
my biggest pet peeve. Like I've used other removals and it works, it worked. That was not really the problem, but the problem for me was that they didn't want to come back because it really hurt. It was so big, like the crust was so thick, and when it fell, like it literally the skin was raw underneath and stuff like that. So
Trust
they didn't
was,
want to come back. They were like so upset about it.
I mean,
Yeah, it
it,
works, but
I did have mine removed back like a few years back, and it traumatized me. It traumatized my husband. He was
I remember
so
you were a model for feet removal. Weren't you a model in a training?
yes, I was, and I traumatized. It took me a whole full year. My eyebrow was red, like, oh my God, like my husband said, it was like a monkey butt, like it literally so red. And I cry every day looking at myself on the like on the mirror, and I was like, oh my God, I don't know what to do. I was scared to even put makeup on because the skin is so raw and it's so red. Now I have like indented eyebrow because it's literally it's look like you have third-degree burn. Like it's not even a joke. I
Well,
trauma.
because when the acid is so strong, unfortunately, it could burn. I mean, the thing is, I used to teach fear removal. I had some very good results, but
Yeah,
you have to be so careful. Like, My problem was the people didn't want to come back. It was just a very big downtime, and it was hard. So when we were developing angel removal, it was like honestly my biggest thing. I said I cannot have those huge scabs. I cannot have people, with a so long downtime. So
Yeah.
we were able to do a removal system that's like 24 hours, and after 24 hours they could do whatever they want. They could put makeup on, they could walk outside, they could exercise. It's like people are not going to be like, oh my god, I don't want to do this again. This was horrible experience.
Yeah, I hear them. I mean, I do it for a while until I finished the products, because I had it a lot. But I was super careful because it was scary. Every time I touch them and I see it start getting like, red, I was like, oh my God, I gotta wipe it off. Like it's just like it's uneasy feeling when you're not comfortable doing the procedures. Number one, you don't want to charge people because you literally terrifying yourself. It's just not easy. But when I got into to learn about beauty angel removal, and I just like something that I love so much, I was like, oh my God, this is something I finally can help people, because there are so many people want me to put their eyebrows back on, and for the life of me I can't. um,
Yeah.
so and then I got to become a master trainer for Glamour brows, and I am in love because I have so many alopecia clients. I have young, beautiful people that actually have
No.
cancer. It's something that I can be able to do. For me, it's like I got super excited when people come in with no hair. Like I know it's a bad thing to say, but like when they
No,
come out.
I always think it's easier to work with clients with no hair. It's
when
just
I
so,
yeah
right? You keep
when I
pushing.
walk out and I see them have no hair, I jump in the air. And then they was like, what is going on with this girl? Like the craziest one. But I'm like, oh my God, you have no hair. So excited. And then they're just like, why? I'm like, because I can be so creative. You can do
Right.
S stroke, X stroke, Y strokes. Like, I'm just like, I always start seeing like all the alphabet like on their face, and they just like laughing at me. But
So, do you do any other services besides permanent makeup?
so I am a cosmetologist. I am cosmetologist for years and years. I used to do hair, nails. I used to do eyelash extension. I used to do like skincares and stuff. But um, I used to do lashes for a long time, even when I just started opening out my studio, because it's a backup income for me while I'm actually building, my microblading services. And this start taking off. I start focusing more on what I do best, and that sometimes you're just gonna have to scale your business. So I actually let go doing lashes, and then I just do brows, lips, and eyeliner, and removal.
Mhm.
Time to time, I don't advertise for it, but I do areola tattoo as well, just by referral. Yeah.
Cool, cool. So let me ask you, today's live is all about when did you know to add another service? Like, um, did you start with eyebrows? Like, what did you start with? When did you know it was time? And you're like, you know what? I better learn areola. I better learn this. Like, oh, I want to do like, when was the right time for you?
So for me, there's a couple things. I started out with microblading only, no shading whatsoever, just straight up microblading. And I start seeing client come back, when they have very, very large pores, oily skin. And I looked at them, I'm like, okay, these clients is not meant to have, microblading, because it's not crisp, and the strokes is not heal beautiful the way I want it to be. So I want to learn powder brown, because actually it's I can be able to cater to different type of clients.
Yeah.
I don't want to say no to people because of their skin. Obviously, I have oily skin myself, and it's hard to turn client away. Not so much about money. It's so much about I feel bad that they literally wait for me and they come in and you know all that time and commitment, and then end up I can't be able to do eyebrow, or I do it for the sake of it and then end up I'm not happy with the result, even though they are, because some brows better than no brows. But in my, I just feel like it's not the right thing to do. So at that time, I wanted to look into powder brows, and that's when I would start learning powder brows. Um, for me, it's like when you have enough requests in your service, like, and then all, or you can feel like there's some people that is not, you know, capable of having microblading, then you need to learn powder brows. So you need a backup plan. I learned
Totally.
because I just,
Machine strokes, do you do nano brows?
I study nano brow, but it's not many people I do my nano brow with. So that's something I just feel like I still love the microblading look.
I
Like,
know, I do too. Is that funny? I
yeah, just love that so much that I just not ready to let that go just yet.
Ah, okay, so you're crazy like me. People think I'm crazy. You know what? I love working with a blade. I love it. I
I
really, it's
like
so something. I know you may think I'm psycho. I like that crunching, like I like that sound, and like
for me, I love it because I feel like I holding in my pen, and I call my microblading tools when I actually about to open the package. I said this is my magic wand. And
hmm
I told my client all the time, I'm like, look, this is my magic wand. It's sterile. We're gonna do some magic here. It's something to actually give the client a little bit ease up the process, because they scared, they nervous, even though they stalk you for a long time, but they still freaking out.
well,
Um,
you have a very, very big supporter here, Blue Dreamin'. She loves
oh
you.
yeah, I did her eyeliner.
Yes, she loves you. See,
So
Beauty also says she's the same. She still love microblading.
yeah, I just can't let it go just yet. Like for me, because I know that when you do something and you do it over and over, you just start falling in love. And Nano is amazing, but I still feel like I'm capable of doing this and I can do it best, and I want to continue doing it as long as I can.
The thing is, honestly, nano takes a lot longer time.
For
It's
sure.
not as fast. Um, but again, I don't do machine strokes at all. In a way, I feel like it's very good to know, because like literally it gives you the look of the microblading, right? Like hair strokes, and you could do it on more people. And like the new course that we have, like the fusion, which I love that look. Fusion brows is like, strokes here, and just tail part here is the powder brows. So that's like a really nice effect, like a combo. It's just for me, I do microblading to my clients unless I cannot do microblading, then I will do powder. You
Yeah.
know, I still love, I love powder brows too. I do. But if you ask me powder brows or microblading, doing wise,
Yeah.
me, I prefer powder brows.
Yeah, me too.
For me, I prefer powder brows. But to do something with that, like, going and crunching, and I don't know, it's just so relaxing. And we have other people feel the same way here. Look at this.
I know. I feel
Love
it's
to
my mental
eat.
time. Like,
It's
I feel no stress when I
real.
work. I just feel like every time I'm in my zone, that's it. Like I'm completely out. Like I don't hear you, I don't see you. All I see is my strokes, and I'm just like locked in with my music, with my zones, and that's it. Like I don't care about the world out there. Like
Oh,
it's so
God,
but
Laura says, when done right, it heals well over. Yes, I agree. Like people really bash microblading because they don't know how to do it. They're doing too deep, and then it like again, it does get it does spread over time, but so does anything. Like a machine does also. The right conditions though, right client, good products, client that exactly client that follows instructions. She still, we have other people, they agree with us. It does not.
Yay, we're not the only one.
We're not the only one. Where did you first learn powder brows? They're asking you, I think. Isn't nano brows better than microblading in a way because it covers more clients? Nicole, yes, it does. But like maybe if I didn't know microblading and if I'm gonna learn now, maybe I would go with nano, maybe. But I also think it's harder to learn machine strokes. I don't think it's as easy. It's
It's
my
a
it's,
lot of concentration, and it's take a lot of, you have to hold that machine like right, like the angle wise, and also you have to be super slow. You can't go fast at all. Like
right.
way longer to do, but you have to cater to your area, right? Like, what is your look? What is your signature look? For me, my signature is super, super natural. And I think all my client coming with the same, they screenshot my photos and they say, I want this one. So I'm like, I can't sell nano, you know what I mean? So I know it in the back of my hand. I do.
No, but Suki, nano is not a style. The nano is basically just machine strokes. Like for example, the nano strokes that we have right now, it's a
Mhm.
microblading pattern. It's not like that, more feathery.
Yeah.
That's feather brows. That's coming next. Hopefully by December. I'm working so hard. I've been talking about this. It's just been,
So that's what I was saying then. I was doing feather browns, and
yeah,
it's not
right.
clear.
It has different because with machine is just like microblading. You could create different patterns. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But nanostrokes course that we just launched is not that. It's the same exact pattern actually as the microblading. Our basic course is the same. Even we give the same latex. It's the same exact thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good. So that's better for, oily skin that can be able to have. But again, if you done it right, honestly,
Mm-hmm.
will heal beautiful. If they oily skin, any stroke will spread, no matter what. So
Yes, even machine strokes
will spread. Mhm.
spreads in the oily skin. Honestly, it just the difference is it stays longer. It
Yeah.
basically like holds better, for some reason because the machine is implanted like that and it's not cutting like this, and then when you're cutting the skin like that, the skin does not retain as much and then it just pushes it out easy unless it's deep and you don't want to do that. And if it's deep, you may as well do powder brows because it's going to look like powder brows after a while. Anyway, so wait, I have a lot of questions for you.
All right.
So
Let's
you
go.
do microblading, I mean like the regular pattern microblading, you do glamour brows, which is more like like curvy strokes pattern, and you do lips, you do eyeliner, you do areola. What do you like the most? And okay, so we know that you first learned microblading, then you went with the powder brows, then did you learn lips and eyeliner after? Which
Yeah,
was, yeah?
I did. I did. I just like it because it's different, and it's not like something, but 90% of my client are still brows. And I love doing brows just because one little thing changed your whole face. Eyeliner you can draw them on or whatever. Lips you can just put lipstick on, but for me it just like the eyebrow change the entire face, change your age look, change how your I give people 20 years back all the time, and
Guys,
make me happy. You know what I mean? Like some people, everybody have different priority. And for me, it is like I see the powder, I mean the power of the brows. Like it's just giving
I
the
think
way.
house brings the people in. Like when I have, see, I want to touch to this subject real quick because I think it's really important. Um, my sales guy is on vacation, so I've been training, Carmen, who works for me in the office. So she hears me talking to leads. I don't do that normally, but I've been answering the phone calls and talking to girls who are interested in trainings, and they can't believe me. I say, she goes, well, I want to learn powder brows, microblading, lips, and eyeliner. And I go and I look, I say, listen, unless you're in a state that requires that, like for example, New Jersey, Clara is here, she will tell me you're right. I don't recommend to take on all that in one time. And
No.
I explain, Suki, I tell them, listen, think about the permanent makeup is a big, huge steak. And I shoved it all into your mouth. You're gonna like you'll be like choking. How are you? Like you need to chew little pieces at a time. Otherwise, it's really a lot. And every single one of them is a different, so different. Like powder brows is so different than microblading. Microblading, even though it strokes, it's so different than nano. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? It's like you can't, or lips, or I mean eyeliner, areola, scalp, all scar camouflage. It's all complete. I tell them it's like you saying, "Oh, you speak Japanese, you don't speak Chinese." I mean, it's completely. It's yes, they're both like Asian language, but they're two, or two different cuisines, two different languages. It's not the same. You know what I mean? Yes, it's permanent makeup, but you can't do that. So the student goes, really? Okay. I'm like, listen, I could sell you. She's ready to buy. She just wants to learn everything. And
Yeah.
I stopped them. But that's why I wanted to do this live, because I feel like you gotta know when to jump to the next thing, when
Yeah.
to take the next technique.
I,
I feel like people just take so much to chew in their plate and they can't, and then they quit.
they fail. Yeah. For me, when I know when I'm ready for the next one is I'm comfortable doing that procedure first. Not saying that you will master in the
No,
certain,
I agree with you.
but you have to be comfortable doing the procedures without sitting there, oh my God, like I have to remember step by step. Because it's for me, everything is muscle memory, right?
Right.
That's using your hands. But at the same time, you have to have a knowledge about what is a color, how's that color is going to heal. If you're doing microblading, what pigment you're going to use, what powder, what pigment you're going to use, how that pigment going to end up healing in the skin. Are you shaping is good? How's your shading? How's your speed? And then on the other hand, when you do microblading, it's the same thing. Is this skin is gonna heal this color, or this skin gonna heal that color? For
Mhm.
me, every single procedures out there is completely different. Is it hard to learn a different procedures? Of course it does. It's a brand new thing. It's not like, okay, I already know all about even for me, every year I still continuing to seeking to learn other stuff, right? I don't want to, even with microblading, why I jumped to Glamour Brow, because I feel like I want to be better. I want to be better myself. I'm very comfortable with microblading. What does Glamour Brow do for me? Something that I can be more creative, something I can be, well, even the same kind of technique, but it's completely different stroke. Is it easy to go straight versus go S curve? I mean, of course it is. It's going to be hard.
It's okay. I tell you how I feel from my end. For example, I love powder brows and I do great powder brows, right? But I can't do lips. And let me tell you, I took so many courses, Suki. I did. So I think also you can't just assume because you do one thing, you're gonna do the next thing great. I mean, you are honestly great at everything. I really have big respect for you. And I have a lot of masters that are really, really good. Like I have Kim Do, who is amazing in everything. I have Tanny is pretty amazing on everything. She just started doing lips, but she's really amazing already. I have Jenny in Chicago. She's great. Yvonne in Chicago. She's great. She does everything. I mean, but it's not that many. It's not that many people who does everything so perfectly.
Yeah.
So I don't feel so bad. I could do eyeliner. I'm okay with eyeliner. I mean, the Santanas are great pretty much in everything. I mean, yes, there are people, but I think it's very, very normal to to feel some things are more challenging than others. Like, you know what? I want to see some of these comments. I haven't looked. Hold on. Yes, Suki, it will spread on any skin and is still even on with machine. The strokes don't retain. Yeah, the strokes don't retain too long on oily skin. That's right, Clara. What's the difference between Glamour and Brow Coat? That's a great question. um Suki, you teach brow code too, right? Because actually Glamour, this is how I explain. We have basic microblade and shade and we have advanced microblade and shade. We have Glamour brows and then we have the brow code. Brow code is the advanced course for Glamour because it's again very curvy, you know, eccentric, really cool things. Bra code was my invention, actually. Did you know that, Suki? I
Yeah. Oh,
started. Did you see the how I created it? At When I was teaching, I started doing this. I said, look, let's call this number one. Let's call this number two. Actually, sorry, I started doing that later, but at the beginning it was alphabet. It
yeah.
was A, B, C, D, E, F, G. Like I had that. And then I would say, okay, girls, let's just spell this eyebrow now. That's how it started.
Yeah.
I said, look, you could do endless. It's like, learning how to read, how to spell, but it wasn't a cool name to um, name a course, brow alphabet. So then Patricia, my brand partner, she says, why don't we name it the brow code? Because I also used to say, let's decode. It's like the Da Vinci Code, I used to say. So she says, I think I like that better. The brow. I said, oh my God, yes, totally. And then they could do endless patterns, like endless number combination, right?
Right.
So
Right.
Nicole, brow code is advanced. It's not a basic course, but Glamour is something that you could learn if you don't know microblading. We teach all the basics also in the Glamour brows. So I hope that was clear for you. Da, da, da. Yes, you see what Clara says? You don't want to be jack of all trades and master of none. Yes, that's why I'm a brow master. That's what I do. But if you're amazing at everything, then you're master of everything, then that's amazing. So do you recommend to handle one first and then add a second procedure? Yes, we're just talking about this. I'm doing
Well,
my
can I add something for Nicole? Because every single procedures that you learn, you're gonna have to make sure you have enough time to practice. You can't just take the course and the next day you're assuming that you're gonna go right onto the client. So you need enough practicing, and do you have enough time to do it? Is your clientele is like, how's your schedule look like on the day? You have to make sure that you have enough time for a period of like months in order for you to practice before you get on the client. Cannot assuming that you already know about the brows, already know about the shape. You may be great at shaping, you may be great at, choosing the color, but the technique is completely different. How you holding a machine, how to actually choosing the needle size. I mean, everything is completely different. So you need to practice enough and create your own technique before you going on the client. And again, we're going to start all over again. You're going to need a model. You need to make sure that you have a portfolio in order for you to sell the service. So you can't just say, hey, you know, I took the course yesterday and somebody want to jump into my bed and let me do it. I'm like, I would be scared. So you have to make sure you have enough time. So do one thing at a time and space it out. And to see, you know, maybe the area that you lived, maybe people have more, you know, what is you have, like what kind of ethnicity you have, what kind of, you know, that's when you know your clientele in order to pick and choose what type of brand, what type of service that you can be able to deliver. So it's not, you have to learn your zone, right? You have to know what you can be able to cater to your clientele. I can tell you in my town, but I cannot tell what in your town in order to help you pick and choose which service you should do. So
Very
that's advice. Yeah.
just talking to a student 2 nights ago, and I said the same. I said, tell me, who is your clientele? How old is your clientele? What race is your clientele? What type of skin do they have? Do they have drier skin, oilier skin? Where do you live? You know, because depending on also the weather, you
Yeah.
know, it changes. So I think you're very correct. Like, for example, I had a student that I was talking to, and she lives in the Bahamas. So I'm not going to tell her to learn microblading. That's like useless, because most of the women, they're black women. So they're going to like more the powder brows, you know. So I sold her the powder brows course, not the microblading. And I told her I wouldn't even learn microblading. Like, to me, it's, she's not going to do it that much. You know what I'm saying? Like, but again, if you live in New
They'll do it, but they're not gonna heal right, and they're gonna not gonna show
York,
up
they're
and
never happy.
back, and they're
Unless
not
they're
gonna.
like, if they're like a Fitzpatrick 5, then
Yeah.
it's fine. You know, I mean, again, even if it's Fitzpatrick 5, I prefer to do microblading with shading. I don't just do microblading, because it doesn't give enough density, enough volume, you know, for the darker skin tones. Or like if you have a lot of Indian clients and they're darker, or I don't know, depends, or
Yeah.
or you know, I mean, depends on your clientele. This is very, very important. But was it hard for you to learn something new?
Can I be?
Oh, it was very easy like this, right?
No. Every time I go take a course, my head's in that course 100%, and
Hmm.
everything I do, I think it's just how I've been raised. You know, you have to be. It's like I'm competing in my own self. It's not about, you know, nobody in my area is my competition. No one.
That's
It
why you're a beauty angel.
me is
I
my,
love it, because that's what the best attitude is.
and I want to be better myself at everything. And I just focus and I just do one thing at a time. I don't care chit-chatting. I just focus, right? And come home, I would practice morning and night. I mean, it take a lot of practice, but for me, it's nothing easy and nothing hard. You can accomplish anything you want to do,
Yeah.
and my attitude about everything. So, I mean, I learned English 15 years ago. I didn't know a single word. So,
From, I forget.
Vietnam.
You're Vietnamese. Why do I keep forgetting that? I don't know. I don't know why I don't think of you as Vietnamese. Listen, Vietnamese people is one of the hardest working people I've known in my life.
Thank.
Honestly, I don't know what it is, and
Well,
they know how to
oh,
use their
don't. That's it. We get our ass whooped if we don't. That's it.
right.
My
It's
parents still.
funny because, you know, it was so funny because even when I was with Fibrows, we
Yeah.
had so many Vietnamese masters. And then I had so many Vietnamese students. And when I wanted to make a Vietnamese master, they told me, no, you can't. And I'm like, what do you mean? It's like all the masters are Vietnamese. We need like other and I'm like, oh my God, this is so crazy. You know, I had this one assistant.
Yeah.
Okay, her name is Bao. And Bao, you know what I used to call her? Do you know who she
Oh,
is?
yeah.
You know Bao?
Yeah.
Cindy, her American name is Cindy. I used to call her the brown ninja. She was she would go I'm like, what the hell? How did you do that so fast? Like it was just so incredible to me how amazing she was. But you know, she never really loved. Imagine if she loved microblading and did it. She loved nails and other stuff too. So she never like focused. She didn't want to be master. She didn't want to be, you know, it's, you know, everybody has different, um, you know, likes and what they, you know, what they like to do. Let's
Yeah.
see what they're saying to us. We have a lot of comments. Yes, be dedicated to what you're learning. What you're learning, what you're doing in general, whatever you're doing in life, be dedicated to. Thank you so much for your advice. I live in Dominican Republic and mostly skins are oily. Yes. That's why I was thinking in powder, but yet microblading still have its own. Okay. Let me tell you, Nicole, mi dominicana. Very, I know, I speak Spanish. It's very important to learn microblading in the areas that you could actually do microblading because let me tell you something. Microblading became like Windex. That's how I explain, right? Is that funny? It's like Windex. You don't go and tell, oh, I'm going to buy window cleaner. You say, oh, I need to buy Windex. Yes or no?
Yeah.
Who says window cleaner or whatever, right? So I think it's very important to understand that clients don't even know what is powder brows, what is nano, what is this, what is that. But you know, one thing they know that they want eyebrows, and you know how they refer to it? I want to get microblading. They don't even know the difference. They just say microblading for everything, all kind of.
I want natural. I want them natural.
Right, exactly. If they want natural, like, you know, whatever, and they're not going to say to you, oh, I want nano strokes
Yeah.
or I want fusion, I want this. Like, they don't know these names. These names are like for us, you know. So I think it's good that you're learning microblading. I know you said that you're learning. Don't give up microblading, but I do think that you should definitely learn because Latinas like that look. Latinas really like more defined eyebrows anyway. In my opinion, you should definitely learn powder brows. And we have a kick-ass course for powder brows. Nicole, I am Dominican also, and powder is the best for out there. I didn't know you are Dominican. Oh my God, I didn't know. Nobody can tell I'm Vietnamese as well. Ah, Lisa. Lisa is it. You know what it is? You don't have a Vietnamese accent.
Who? Me?
Yes,
Oh.
you have an accent. I'm not saying you don't have an accent. I have an accent, but I don't have a Turkish accent. Like I'm from Turkey. And I don't talk like Turkish, you know, because Turkish people, the way they talk is like with the W's, they cannot pronounce. They will say, instead of what, they will say, what? What do you want? Do you want to go to eat? Like, I can't even do it so well, but I don't speak like Turkish. You know, I have an accent. So you have an accent, but it's not like, it doesn't sound Vietnamese accent to me.
But like you like long nail, long nail.
Ah,
Long nail got your boyfriend.
What color?
Long nail got you boyfriend.
No, man. I know you're doing good. Now you're doing it. I can't do it. I'm not good with, you know, doing accents, but that's,
Uh,
oh God.
when I came here, I was dedicated to learn English, and for me, I didn't want to hang out with anybody like Vietnamese, except like I have to talk to my parents. So I just like shadow my cousins around and try to copy whatever their accents is and try to learn from them. But I know I have an accent, but I just like
Yeah,
trying
an
to.
accent, but it's
communicate in like English as much as I can, so then, you know, I can be able to, I want to learn English, and I push myself to learn English.
Married to American, that's why. You're always talking English, that's why.
I talked English before I met him.
Yeah, but still, what I'm saying is, if you had a Vietnamese husband, you would have more of an accent.
Nah, no Asian.
No, it's funny because for the longest time, I never found I found like Asian women so exotic, so good looking, and I didn't feel that way about Asian men. I wasn't attracted to Asian men until I went to China, like when was it? Like maybe 3 years ago.
Mhm.
And I'm like, wow, wait a minute. There's really good looking Asian men. And then I started like noticing more Asian men. And I actually think they're handsome. I mean, it's like everybody, like there's a good looking one and a not good looking one. You know, some of them, of course, not all good looking, but you know, before I really was not attracted to Asian men. Now, like I think they're hot. I mean, the hot ones are hot. Before, I would never even look. Even I wouldn't even give it. Oh, no, I don't like Asian men. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it really depends. Also, how I don't know. But okay, no Asian man for you. It's okay.
No, I dated Asian men. I just don't want
Yeah.
to.
Oh, you don't want to marry one. It's like I didn't want to marry a Turkish guy either. They're good looking. Turkish guys are good looking, but I didn't want to marry one.
Yeah.
They're very difficult. The culture is super like
Yeah. Yeah.
is the same for Asian. I feel like
Yeah.
the woman is like always like this. You know, the man, I gotta respect my man, and I'm like, I'm
So
not saying I'm gonna respect my men. That's not what I'm saying. Now they're gonna take it like out of contact. That's not what I'm saying. But I want to be equal to my men. I don't want to be lower than my men.
Brazil.
Microblade online. I need a hands-on training. There is. Um, did you learn online with Beauty Angels? Because we have a phenomenal, like, I feel like our online courses are super detailed. It's like, even if you don't have any knowledge, there's so much in there, and it is interactive. It's really, really interactive, like with getting feedback. So I think it depends, but
Where do you live?
yeah, where do you live? You could always go to a live course too. Hello, Brazil. Where your kick-ass class? Ah, she's asking us. Where your kick-ass class? We have kick-ass classes everywhere. So you tell me where you are, and we're gonna find you a kick-ass.
Come to
Oh,
shop
the
with me.
clarity.
That's
Oh,
it.
I'd like to get clarity on things, Clara. I always hear that the really hot ones are in China. That's
In the
funny.
movie.
Men are hot. They are hot. I know. And they are very, very sexy. I took microblading basic back in April, and I'm getting ready to take my first model client in September. When do you think it's a good time for the advanced course? Great question. When do you want to answer her first, and then I'll answer her?
I think you should get comfortable with doing everything first and then take the advanced course. So I would say give yourself at least 3 to 6 months for you to start get used to the tools, the pigment, retention. You have to know your retention. And then you can take advanced course, and then you can add it onto, your booklet, because that's going to be completely different look, different stroke. You will like it much better, but I highly recommend that give it a little bit of time. Since you're taking your first client or model in September, I would say at least finish out the year and then see where you at. Then you can be able to plan it out, like in the next, like, I would say February or March, you can take the advanced course, but you should be 6 months, 3 to 6 months before you. Now, you may be amazing. You may be ready by 3 months. You may be ready by 2 months. But you need to know your retention. You need to be comfortable using the blade at all angle in order for you to learn the advanced course. That's
What
my
about this? I'm going to tell you what I tell. I don't usually give time. I usually give amount of people they do. I think because some people go and every day they're taking models and they're doing, and some people in 6 months, maybe they do 2, 3 clients. So I think when you are ready is about, in my opinion, at minimum 15 to 20 models or clients at least. And then see after 15, 20 if you're comfortable. You know, otherwise, of course, that could take some people 6 months, sometimes even more time. Like some people really don't do that much, you know, and then it could take maybe a year even. But I think that could be a good way of judging, you know, at least 15, 20 minimum before you go to learn a more advanced pattern.
yeah.
Because it's more advanced patterns and it's going to complicate things. You know what I mean? Oh,
She's
she's from
Michigan.
Grand Rapids, Michigan. Grand Rapids, Michigan. We have 2 masters in Michigan. We have Yvonne and we also have Katrina. So, you know what? DM me and I'm happy to, you know, get you to the right class. Oh my gosh, yes, I agree. It's number of models better. Yeah. Yeah, because sometimes, you know, some people, they could do 15, 20 people in a month. They do every day a model. Then I've had that. But what I'm so against, which I've seen people do crazy, like when I was with Fibras, I've seen that. They would give them basic course 2 days and the third day advanced course. And I'm like, what? How the hell? Like, to me, that's like stealing people's money. I'm sorry. You know what? They could just come after me and say that I said that, but I'm sorry. They did that. And I was so against it. And I never, ever did it. You know, I would be not be able to sleep in my bed at night.
Yeah.
It's just stealing people money. I'm sorry, it is. Like that person is, how could she take the advanced course? She didn't even do enough latex, even just the basic, you know, not even latex. How is she gonna do it? Grand Rapids. Oh, you're sweet. I'm not trying, you know, I think they're great companies. It's, and you know what, honestly, I think if like Bronco knew that they were doing that they were giving like back to back, he would have a problem with it. I really think that, but I don't think, and I'm not a troublemaker, so I never said anything. But now the cat is out of the bag. Now everybody knows. Maybe they don't do it anymore. Who the hell knows? But whatever. So we're almost approaching to our end. I actually was trying to keep it at a 45 minutes, but we kept talking. This is like a really, really good subject, to be honest with you, when the people is ready to take the next course. But I want to give one advice, and I'm going to ask you to finalize like what would your advice will be, because we only have a few minutes left. I think it's a great idea if you're adding small things, like for example, I think brow lamination, eyelash lifting, yeah, like those are things that you could learn so easily. Honestly, I'm only coming out with products. I'm not even making a course. I feel like there's so many tutorials and it's so easy to learn, you know, on like YouTube. There's like zillion things. That's like something to add, you know, because if you're doing lamination and tinting or henna or threading or, you know, stuff to get people in your door, like with less expensive services, I think it's very beneficial to people. And I also think removal, it's so easy to learn. I mean, That I would teach at the same time. I don't have a problem with that because it's like so easy to learn. And then I say to them, because with removal, you could start doing customers right away. When you're
Yeah.
doing permanent makeup, you got to really learn before you do it on a real skin. So I think removal would be a great add-on to do right away. Um, and what else? I mean, that's really pretty much it. I don't think anything else. Like if you're learning microblading and lips at the same time, it's too much. Like I think you need to pick things like to add with time, like we talked about, you
Yeah.
know. But
I mean, I agree. Like you can add small thing to build trust and then also build your portfolio that if there's people that not ready, even tinting eyebrow, even like, what do they call it? With the look like a powder brown. What is that, Claire?
henna, that's henna
Henna.
brow.
Yeah, doing henna for people that actually is not ready to jump into permanent makeup just yet. You give them the idea of how their eyebrow maybe look like. Is building trust and say, okay, you're not ready yet. Let's start with this, and then we can revisiting. I think it's gonna help so much with building trust with clientele, and then also it's giving you a backup when you starting out your own studio. I think there's somebody, I'm just going to answer real quick. How do you start to get into a business? I had
Yes, sorry,
a
she asked
so
twice. Could
yeah,
answer, that would be great.
Najwa. Okay, so I'm just going to answer this real quick. And if you have any question, you can DM me. I can help you out. If you have your certificate a month ago, and what's your advice to start your own business? First thing first, you need to find a location. I don't recommend you going to get a big salon. Start out with a small suite. That's what I did.
Smart.
Salon suite, like things like that, to get a small room. And you don't need to buy bajillion dollars of things. One bed, one dresser, a mirror, some little tools here and there, and a chair for a client to wait, for somebody else to get their eyebrows done. Start out from there. But before you do that, when you get signed a lease, you need to ask all the questions, right? So what do they cover? Do they cover booking services? Do you have to have your building insurances? Because usually salon loft and place like that, they don't require you have to pay for any type of additional insurance. But then you need to call to get your insurance. You have to have your insurance, please, please, please. There's so many people, I can't tell you how many people are so frustrated in my area. They do have nothing to start out, and I just feel like I would be terrifying. You need to buy your insurance as a professional. You need to get insurance, and then call the health department to make sure that you have everything compliance to what they ask for. So it's a sink. You need to require a sink, a hot water. You need to have like
Or
tools. You have to make sure you have, sanitizing enough that compliance to what they're requesting you. Write it all down, and then you can start your, getting one thing at a time. And of course, every business is different, but once you get into it, you will learn and you will figure it out. So for one thing, don't give up. You can do it. If I can do it, you can do it. And
that's you could do it where the human brain is so powerful that we could do anything that we want.
yeah,
You just gotta want it. That's all. Give them your what do you call it? Instagram handle, please. I think it's on top here. Suki Beauty Studio. Suki Beauty Studio is Suki. She's in North Carolina. She's a wonderful artist and she's a wonderful trainer. She's a sweetheart.
oh, thank you.
It's true.
Thank you.
I'm so sorry that I broke my ankle and I couldn't be for your live
Oh
course.
my God, you remember.
I remember. I feel so bad. And you were like you know, step.
Guys, I know this is our first time met, but if you guys have any question, you're more than welcome to DM me. If you can't be able to get all the answer that you need, I would love to help anybody because I know starting out a new journey is hard, and sometimes you need support. And I'm here to support you, not as anybody, but as a colleague. I would want to help you out.
You're
Okay.
the you're the best. And there is yes, we do have trainings in Michigan. So please DM me and I will get you to a nice training in Michigan. I promise you. Oh, we
I'm
will give
here
you
for you.
support. I promise. That's what we're known for. We are the beauty angels.
We are family.
Suki, it was pleasure to have you.
Oh, thank you. Thanks for having me. I really appreciate it.
I'm glad you were able to join. I was like having a little bit of a panic attack at that time. I'm like, oh
No
shit.
panic.
I'm
Oh, no.
like, not another one. Because a few weeks ago I had Yvonne Gevargasyan
Yeah.
from Michigan. She's from Michigan. And she had a loss in her family and she was flying. And I'm like, ay, ay, ay. Now I'm going to have another one that I'm going to have to cancel this. I was thinking that, but thank God you made it. Yay.
I think
Yes, we have trainings come in Arizona. Yes, yes. Amanda Brewer is in Arizona, in Phoenix. Just contact us and we'll be very happy to get you to the right training, you guys. Thanks again, Suki. I
all
love you in my family. You know that. And mwah. And have a good night, everybody. Mwah, mwah, mwah.
right. Bye,
Bye.
guys.
Till next week. Ciao, ciao.